Hey, everybody, welcome to Family Fridays with Parent Project. And this is a special Family Friday for you guys this week. It's the end of the school year and graduation show. And we have some panelists on that are going to talk about graduating high school virtually and how that's been. And hopefully we have a bunch of you guys joining from all around the country. And we're going to talk about what everyone's up to and what their plans are in this exciting time of year. And it's going to be a little different, but everybody's going to remember the class of 2020. So before we introduce the panelists, what we'd like to do is give you a message from Franco, who's finishing up his kindergarten school year. And he has a few words to say about what happens in kindergarten graduation. Let's check that video out.
Hi, I'm Franco. I'm 6 years old. I'm in kindergarten. My favorite part of kindergarten is writing and reading. I'm looking forward to first grade to meet new friends. Bye.
Oh, thank you very much for that video, Franco. That's very, very cute. So kindergarten is where it begins, and then where some things move on to is high school and also college graduates. So for those of you that do not know me, my name is Patrick Motion, and I live up here in the great state of New Hampshire. And I have with me some live graduates on today. We have Sam, Jordan, and Chris, and everybody is in different stages of their education. So real quickly, let's meet everyone. So Sam, starting with you, please tell us where you live and where you are about to graduate from.
If it wasn't obvious, I live in Texas. There's my Texas Ranger stuff back there. I am graduating from high school in Rockwall, Texas. And at least in terms of plans for next year, I have accepted to the University of North Texas, and I'm going to be figuring out what that's going to look like in the fall semester.
Sweet. Well, yeah, we'll get back to you, Sam, because I'm going to ask you some more questions, but I'd like everyone in the audience to meet everybody. Jordan, if you could unmute yourself and tell us where you live and where you're graduating from, buddy.
I'm from Pennsylvania, and I'm graduating from Kent High School. So I'm excited to see where that goes.
Excellent. Good. And Chris, a lot of you probably know Chris out there. He's a nationally acclaimed rock star. Chris, where are you graduating from right now?
I'm in Virginia, and I'm graduating from Tidewater Community College with an associate's degree in computer science, and I'm also getting a certificate in website design. I plan on going to Old Dominion University in the fall and possibly do internship program, which I probably would have done this summer, but that didn't pan out so well. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things on hold for a lot of people, but it's very cool that you're going to be doing this. And those of you out there listening from the internet land, he just said web design and stuff like that. So Chris is your guy to hit up if you want to make a slick site, and you can talk to him. I've seen some of his design stuff, and it's awesome. I'd like to actually go back to Sam for a moment, and we'll do another little round of questions. Sam, tell us how big is your graduating high school class, and what are they actually going to do? What are you going to do for graduation? Because I know all over the country, people are doing different things. So how many kids in your class-ish, and what's the plan, virtual or live?
I'd say my graduating class is anywhere from 800 to 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, the high school is a little overpopulated, if you ask me. But
no kidding. So what does it feel like to be 999 in a class of 1,000?
Pretty good. I was 29th out of 32 in my Spanish class. Glad I don't have to go to that anymore.
Hey,
Thank you for reminding me.
You know what? What do they call the guy or the lady that graduates last in their medical school?
Lame.
Doctor. They call them doctor, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm going to become a doctor.
No, I know, but just the joke is, doesn't matter where, man.
The joke.
Paper. But anyway, enough messing around. This is supposed to be serious.
Right.
Sam, so you're going to graduate with like 1 million people. And how are you guys going to do that? It almost sounds like you're going to need a stadium. They have
Oh, you're
stadiums in
funny.
Texas.
Good segue. So I found this out last week. Apparently, my high school graduation is going to be at the Rangers baseball stadium in Arlington. So yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. Wonder
I'll
how
tell
it's
you-
going to go.
I'll tell you what, that's a pretty cool honor, and you'll definitely be able to, for the class of 2020, that'll be something to remember. Do us a favor on the Parent Project Facebook and also maybe on the PAC Facebook. If you think it's going to stream live, if you could share that, because I think that would be something that a lot of people would want to tune into. You get to go down to the field of a professional baseball stadium and have your graduation ceremony. You'd be able to probably even do the social distancing stuff, and I think that will be amazing. It's definitely different times, but cool things can happen. So, Jordan, I have the same question for you. How many kids about in your high school graduating class, and what is the plan on your ceremonies there in your town? You said you're near Philadelphia, so tell us how it's working over there.
Well, I thought my class was pretty big, but I guess it's not as big as Sam's class. It's about 300 kids.
Good size, still good size.
So
Yeah.
substantial, bro.
Yeah, not tiny, but like still. Our plans are still to go ahead with a live in-person ceremony. As of right now, the goal is by July 25th to have that pan out. But we do have backup plans and that kind of thing. But I'm actually speaking at my graduation, so I have a little bit more information about it than some people. But yeah, I think I am hopeful that it will work out, and we'll have it in person July 25th because I'd rather not have 12 years kind of end up with a live or with a streamed video graduation. I mean, it would definitely be different, but the whole idea of recognizing seniors is still the same either way.
Absolutely. Now I have to follow up. You said you're being asked to speak. For what purpose and what honor are you receiving that you're going to be able to speak? That's awesome.
So there was information sent out to, I think, all the seniors, and it was basically saying, if you're interested in speaking at graduation, let us know. And I responded, and they had us audition to speak. So we had to write a rough draft of a speech that we would give at graduation. And then they picked the speeches based on common themes. So there were a lot of speeches that had the same kind of thing. I think one of the common themes was resilience and kind of what is happening. I mean, this coronavirus has definitely changed a lot of what we were expecting. But we're kind of bouncing back and kind of adapting to the situation. So I don't know. I think they're also announcing scholarships that day. So I'm not completely sure if I will be getting any, but I definitely had some advice for the class of 2020 that I wanted to get, make sure that it was heard. So I figured what better way than to address the entire class.
Good for you, man. And it takes some guts to do that. You speak very well. And just so everybody out there in Facebook land knows, I did not meet Jordan before today, but I'm very impressed with this young man. You speak very well, and I think you'll do an excellent job. Just real quick before we jump over to Chris, what is you said the speeches have topics. What is your topic going to be? Are you speaking on resiliency, or is it something else?
Well, all of the speeches that were selected kind of have something to do with resiliency, but each speech kind of had its own topic. So my topic is kind of how we got here, what the journey was like from all aspects of it. Was it good? Was it bad? Doesn't matter. We're all in the same spot now. And kind of preparing for change, like kind of like what doors are opening and that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I love it. And, you know, the extra layer of all of us out there that have muscular dystrophy, we deal with overcoming and resiliency every day. So I feel like in a lot of cases, you know, on a lot of levels, we're better equipped than a lot of other people to deal with something like this because it's leveled the whole population and everybody's even, you know, and I watch TV and I think these people are out there complaining that they, you know, have to wear a mask or something. And I'm thinking, how many times have we all gone to a building and we can't get in and we don't start screaming about the Constitution and our rights and all that. We just find a ramp or we deal with it or go somewhere else. So I think that's, yeah, you'll have a awesome, strong message. So that's good. I have more questions. I'll come back to you, but Chris, you are the older graduate of the bunch. Can you tell us a little bit about how you think well, first, same thing. How is your ceremony going to work and when, and how many kids in your class?
So I actually already did my ceremony.
Excellent. So you're free and clear.
Yep, I'm definitely graduated already.
So how did you guys do it?
So we did it just virtual. We watched it on the TV, but it was streamed on YouTube and Facebook, which was kind of nice, which was kind of neat.
Yeah, and a lot of colleges, those of you out there that have gone through this, a lot of colleges, they don't actually hand you the diploma at the ceremony anyway. They print it up and did you get it in the mail or did you?
They're going to
have
be
it-
mailing it. Last ones are going to be mailed in August, so it's a little delayed, but at
It's
least I'll have
delayed,
my
but
grades.
delayed, but you're official.
Yep.
Were there a lot of kids in your class?
Yeah, there were roughly about 1,000 in class. Not
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, very big. And how long ago did you graduate high school?
College. I graduated college. Oh, you
No,
mean?
I know. No, I'm asking how long between high school and this graduation?
So I graduated high school in 2016. So it took about 4 years.
Yeah, no, that's what I wanted to know. I mean, I know you
Mhm,
said
yeah.
I know you just graduated with your associates, which is
Mhm.
awesome. And now you're going to be moving on to your bachelor's,
Yes, and computer science. And
just computer
excited
science.
for that.
Okay, and do you anticipate 2 more years with transferred credits, or do you think it might be a little bit longer?
It might be a little bit longer, but 2 to 3 years is what I'm planning to be out by then.
Very good. Very good. And you said you're going to be going to Old Dominion. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Is it definitely going to start up virtual, or do you think you'll be able to be on campus?
I'm hoping it'll be on campus, but the way it's looking, it might be virtual in the fall. But I'm really hoping it's not going to be. And I guess the only other thing is, I have to meet with somebody to make sure the classes are accessible, and I'm really unable to do that right now. So I'm hoping I could do that soon before actual classes start.
Yeah.
I know some of their rooms, they do like a lecture hall, and I'm not really sure how accessible they are with tables. So,
I know. Yeah,
yeah.
there's everything that takes 5 steps for us guys with muscular dystrophy takes 15, and there's a lot more planning. But it's good that you're forward thinking and you're thinking about it now. And hopefully that, well, I'm sure they'll be able to accommodate you. So after you get your bachelor's, do you think, I mean, this is now a little bit more forward thinking. Do you think that'll be enough school for you, or do you think you'll keep going and will you
So I
test?
actually looked into jobs in the area, and they said most of them require a bachelor's and some kind of certificate in what you were doing. So I looked ahead on that. I checked, and I'm glad I did because I wouldn't have gotten the certificate if I didn't check that.
Yeah. So there you
I'd be
go.
all set.
For everybody out there, that's a very good tip from Chris, everybody that's watching. If you are forward thinking, check out all the requirements because
Mhm.
I'm sure looking back now, Chris, picking up the certificate probably it probably wasn't a huge undertaking along with your regular studies.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't hard. I actually liked it better because it focused on what I'm interested in and didn't include the extracurricular stuff. So
Yep.
I
And
enjoyed it.
in this day and age where I think a lot of people are going to be working from home on and off for quite a while, your ability to market yourself and talk about your strengths is going to be huge. So if you can, spread out your wealth a little bit, so to speak, with a certificate and a degree, and you have different areas where you can talk about what you've been working on, it's, make you more hireable, if that's even a word. So Sam, I'm going to come back down to you for a moment. Can you tell us a little bit about what you want to do at North Texas?
I am planning on majoring in psychology, become a counselor. It's going to take a while. You have like 7, 8 years to get a degree that'll let me open my own practice. But I'm just going to be plugging away at that because I think the best way to help people is psychologically, and I just enjoy seeing what makes people tick.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Can I ask you what kind of got you interested in that? Did you have any experiences in high school or anything where you thought you had like the aha moment where you're like, "Ooh, I think this is what I want to do"?
Ironically enough, it was some like late in 9th grade. I started like having appointments with a psychologist every 2 weeks, and that honestly really helped me get through things and like figure out how to get through situations, and that I was just like, yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah,
That's just kind of when it clicked. I was like, yeah, let's do
yeah.
that.
No, I think it's great when you connect with another person like that, and you realize that it helps. It kind of lights the fire, and you think, man, what better way than to be around people? And I've known Sam since you were a little kid. I have a picture of you sitting on my lap at a conference, and I think you might have been 3 years old. So you've always been a people person, and you helping people I can totally, completely see that. So I think you'll be amazing at that, and that'll be right up your alley. So we have two very different sets of skills going on with web design, and then we have psychology, and then Jordan has a third set of skills that he wants to study. Jordan, tell us again where you'd like to or what you're going to do in the fall and what your major is going to be considered.
Okay, so I'm going to be going to the University of Delaware in the fall. I think what their plan is to try and keep it on campus in the fall, but if not, they will most likely do like internet-based classes for the fall semester. So what I really want to be studying is landscape architecture, and I was accepted into that program at University of Delaware, which is actually one of the top schools for that program. Studying is landscape architecture, and I was accepted into that program at University of Delaware, which is actually one of the top schools for that program. Studying is landscape architecture, and I was accepted. I don't know why it's repeating what I said, but well, on my screen it was repeating it. So anyway, that should be good. It kind of combines computer aided design and well, on my screen it was knowledge of plants and that kind of thing.
Very cool. And same kind of question I asked Sam and Chris earlier. What made you get into this? What made you think this would be good?
Well, I started getting into more photography kind of things recently. I like taking pictures of stuff in nature, like I kind of have that eye for it. Also, I was exposed to a lot of computer-aided design aspects in STEM, which is like the engineering classes at school that they give you now. I was also on the robotics team at my school, and I was on the computer design team within the team. So it was kind of like the best of everything that I was interested in at the time. So I'm still interested in all that stuff. So I figured why not? I mean, it combines everything that I like to do. So I'd probably be pretty good at it.
Oh, you'll definitely be good at it. And I think that it'll be awesome. Talking to all three of you just made me realize too that as you guys start out on this journey of college, and Chris, you're going to continue your studies in college, having kind of a, you know what you want to do and you have a focus, but on the other hand, you kind of have a wide view of where it might lead. I think that's really good because, we're recording this now and it would be fun 3 or 4 or 5 years from now for you guys to watch this back and to see if you're close or how far off you were, because you may in the next couple of years discover one facet of what you're starting to study jump out at you and be more exciting than other things, or you might get, you might go down a wormhole and wind up changing it altogether. It's really fun to experience all that is about to come up for you, because it's a really exciting time of life where you're taking all these classes and you're going to be around people that enjoy the same things as you. And you'll be like, wow, it's everybody comes together from all over the country and they do what you do and they like what you like, and you'll meet friends that you'll be friends with forever. And it's really cool to watch that maturation take place and where you land and what you're going to be doing. And pick up things on the side, take advantage of every opportunity that comes to you. If somebody says, oh, can you give me a hand with this project, and exchange numbers, exchange emails, you use that person as a contact, and, definitely go in any direction that you feel like it, will take you. Jordan, I just want to ask you one follow-up with the landscaping stuff. Are you thinking down the line where you would work with more like big commercial kind of properties, or would you do like residential stuff, or do you think you do anything?
Well, I know one of the big aspects or one of the big areas that landscape architects actually work on is golf courses. So I would be interested in things like that. I know also a lot of landscape architects work with like rooftop gardens to save businesses money on like air conditioning and heating and that kind of thing, which would be interesting. I also think there's another area that I'm interested in is kind of like restoration or like use of space that is currently like unused. For example, like in cities, rooftop gardens, all that kind of stuff, which would be interesting to me.
Yeah, restoration of like urban planning. So if you're starting this up and you need a website, you can talk to Chris, and he can he can hook you up. We can make some business stuff, and then
Okay.
when you guys need to have client consultations.
When you need to have partnership counseling.
That's what I was trying to work that in, Sam. But see, you can definitely speak up for yourself. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, Jordan, how you're going for your bachelor's?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Sam, you said you're going to do the same thing as well.
Yes.
Good. I think I do have some more questions, and we can, definitely chat as long as you guys want. But while we're at it, anybody out there watching on Facebook, I know that's being monitored. I'm not watching it because we're on this, but if there are any questions coming through or anything that you guys out there on Facebook want to ask the graduates, please write in. Somebody will give us that question and you have us live. So you can ask us stuff, or for Chris, Jordan, and Sam, you can hire these guys because they're definitely looking to make some cash-ish over the summer. And because I'm plugging them, they're all going to give me 10%. And no, I'm just kidding. So you guys can, reach out and ask about what you guys want to know, especially for Chris that's done college. If you guys out there watching have, if you're a little bit younger and you're not quite at the graduation level, if there's anything that you're wondering about, these are experts with navigating school and all kinds of things that come with school. That being said, that's one of the other reasons why it's great that Parent Project runs this stuff. You guys out there, especially virtually now with Corona, know that we can all talk at any time, and there's tons of support. And here we go, Sam is going to become a counselor. But even if you think, man, nobody's going through what I'm going through, and I'm sitting here and I'm kind of feeling sad and I don't know what to do. And you got three guys here that have achieved a huge milestone.
Yeah, I wanted to add to my experience of computer science.
Yeah, please go ahead, Chris.
So I've actually been programming since I was probably 13 years old. So I pretty much knew what I wanted to do. And then in high school, I actually did a program at the Advanced Technology Center, which is at the Tidewater Community College campus that I graduated from. So I was taking basically college level courses in high school. And we did video game and advanced software design. And I also joined the Future Business Leaders of America, and we got first place in state for our mobile apps. And then as I got developed, I noticed that I was originally going to do mobile apps, but then I found out that website design is more prominent in my area. So, but yeah, and I actually do have real apps too. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And
Mhm.
you said that you got interested when you were 13. What were you programming at 13?
It was actually Minecraft plugins for a video game. Yeah.
So you started out doing Minecraft stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I modded the game. Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about what mods you added? I know there's a lot of people out there that play.
Let's see. I added. Well, there was one. The first one I made was it was just a basic make noise or that lets people know what food you're eating when you're eating it, and then that progressed all the way into an entire server I had built, and it was called Forbidden Nights, and it was like this whole thing that you play through, and it ended up being a class project. And I had everybody's screens had the game on it, and I had my server running at home. It was pretty awesome. So, and they were all playing in the same place. Yeah.
That's very cool. So you mean you had you added quests and you had a whole thing going?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I had quests. I had, and there was a beginning where there was like a tutorial to show you how to do it, and yeah, and then there was like 22 levels. Nobody made it all the way to the end, but not in an hour.
Awesome. Is this pack still available to be updated, or can you not play it any longer?
I don't know if it still works, but I still have the plugin up on the website.
I didn't know I needed something like food specific noises until now. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I actually had somebody take over that project, and he asked me if I could use, and that was kind of cool too. So at least the project's still, my code is still out there. So
I think that's great, and I think without breaking any copyrights, if you can share, I'm sure people would like to connect with you on that. Well, no, I mean I know it is moddable, so I don't know the specs of how that works, but that's awesome. So what kind of program languages have you? I don't want to say mastered because that's probably a reach. But what are you comfortable using?
let's see, I've used Java, JavaScript, C#, C++, Swift. I mean, I know a whole bunch of them. And the reason being is once you learn how to code in one language, it's easy to learn the rest. I also do HTML and CSS for websites.
So
Yeah.
in the computer world, sorry, not to cut you off. In the computer world, am I hearing you right? There's a lot of overlap if you learn a programming language.
Yeah, it's kind of like how English and Spanish have the same letters, but the spelling is different. It's similar, once you get the idea.
Would you ever consider, maybe this is way too boring, but would you ever consider being one of those people on the side that looks for errors in code? Because I know people do that.
That would actually be half of my job. In fact,
Really?
my teacher said he does he also works at a company, and he spends a lot of time because when you write code and you mess one thing up, he spends like hours just fixing errors. A lot of the time that's just what you're doing. And but he said it's really cool because, you know, when you're working all those hours a week, imagine how much you could learn from people who worked there for like 20 years. And you're working with these people, just especially with like internships, you could really learn a lot.
Oh, I would imagine. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
And
you
they're like
can't-
pros at it too. They can write a crazy program in just like 5 minutes. It's crazy. It takes a lot of knowledge and practice.
yeah, no, and obviously, like everything else, like speaking a language, you know, over time, speed comes.
Mhm.
So if you figured out how to hack Zoom, we can.
No.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I know you're going to use your talents and gifts for good, right? We're not
Yeah.
going to see you on the news like WikiLeaks.
Mhm. Yeah.
You could be the next Edward Snowden, though.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's pretty quiet over there. Chris, after this seminar, I'm gonna cover up my webcam. I don't want you to see my kitchen.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Do we I know there's a couple of people moderating. Do we have any questions that are out in online land that we might be able to answer from anybody? We can keep it going. Uh-oh, Jordan has a sibling.
Yeah,
Hi.
I have to plug in my computer because
There's outlet.
just move it over there to the counter.
That's all right. Is that your sister?
Yep.
Yeah, hi, I'm Marissa.
Hi. Are you near graduating, past it, or not quite yet?
No, I'm a sophomore. I'm being-
Sophomore in high school?
Yes, correct.
That one works.
Okay, so you got a couple more years. We're
Yeah.
we're all getting dizzy. That's okay. We definitely want to charge you up. So let me ask you guys this then: with the while Jordan's getting plugged in, Sam or Chris, what are your immediate post graduation plans for summer? I'm sure you probably had parties and things like that, but that's kind of on hold. What are you going to be doing coming up here in the next few weeks and months?
Nothing.
Oh, that's not true.
No.
Basically nothing. I still need to figure out what my next plan is. Probably get housing and get my classes from orientation, but that's about it.
Okay.
Everything else has been canceled.
Yeah, that kind of stinks. What about you, Chris?
Let's see. Well, I've actually been fixing people's computers for the
Oh, that's
already
awesome.
for the last couple weeks. I was actually in the garage fixing somebody's broken power connector for their laptop. And what else am I doing?
Well, you
I'm
fixed-
doing some minor investing too. Just for fun right now.
what like investing as in stock market?
Yes.
Good for you. Just for fun, huh? Be careful, it's real money.
Yeah, it's not, it's only 50.
Good news is it's low right now. By the way, you still can.
Yep. Bye now.
You're right. You're all right.
Yeah, well, as long as you're, doing a bunch of research and stuff like that. Chris, I think a lot of people, because you're also in the computer programming thing, a lot of people out in our audience are probably gamers and stuff. Do you have any specific recommendations right now of things that are being played? This could be Jordan and Sam too. What's hot out there for the your young generation?
So
Since
right
I grew
now,
up with- I grew up with Pac-Man.
I'm actually running I play a lot of Minecraft right now. I'm actually running a server on an old 2009 MacBook. So I have some friends on it right now. So
Okay, if you have room on that server, man, put it up on
Oh,
the
yeah.
put it up on the parent project. I occasionally still play. It's relaxing in the evening after my children go to bed and I'm no longer ready to throw myself out the window.
Mhm.
That's cool. Sam, are you still playing Frogger?
Sure. My recommendation for now is I've been hanging out in the Discord server where like people play a lot of emulator games. I highly recommend those because you don't have to get consoles because you can just emulate them and they're pretty good quality. So if you want to play some old games that you never got to, please do that. It's worth it. And most of them are free. But
Yeah,
don't
I,
put
uh,
an hour, please.
Sam, you're a high school graduate. Can you spell emulate, please?
EMULATE.
Hmm. All right. Well, we'll see out on Facebook if he's right. You know, if I was more skilled at Zoom, we could do a poll. But since I'm not actually hosting, I don't think anyone would give me host capabilities. They don't trust me enough. Jordan, what's going on in your neck of the woods for the summer?
At this point, I don't know. We were going to plan on going to the PPMD conference, but I know it's online now. I'm not totally sure at this point. We might go out west. I have family out there, like Arizona, where I guess it's less Corona-y.
Shout out to Arizona.
Did you say PPMD? PPMD?
I like that face.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is for our hero Pat, and if she watches now or later, she's most likely going to kill me, but it's worth it. Sometimes Pat looks like this, and sometimes she just looks like this, but okay, because it all winds up to be this. So we all have good stuff going on. I like your less Corona-y. That's pretty funny, and I think it's great that all of you guys are graduating right now, either like Chris with his associates, or you two gentlemen from high school. And I know there are many other people out there that are about to graduate. So we'd love on the thread or on Facebook for you guys to share out your stories of what's going on if you're having a virtual graduation. I teach middle school in my town in New Hampshire, and we're going to do a drive up, and they're going to have a big stage in the high school parking lot, and kids are going to get out and take pictures. And I mean, I don't know. I think the good takeaway from this is all your principals, superintendents, your administration, everybody's trying. You know, nobody is just saying, oh, you know what, we can't figure out a way to do this. Forget about it. Everybody's really making an effort to make it memorable and special. So I think that's
For once, the APs are just floundering.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at least we're giving an effort. I think it's,
Yeah.
it in a twisted way, it's kind of exciting to watch people try to, reinvent what it is, because a lot of times we just go through the motions and we say, okay, we're doing this, and now we're forced to rethink it, and hopefully some good may come of it. You know, if you're a glass half full guy, that's a good way to look at it. So, do you guys, before we wrap up, do you guys have any parting advice for people that are not quite graduated yet? Any survival tips?
If you're in junior year, it gets better, but don't fall into senioritis. It's not fun.
Right.
Just like make sure you're at least passing. You don't need to become like god of academics. Just make sure you're surviving.
And can you just tell the audience what you think senioritis is?
Well, senioritis is basically the idea that since junior year is your most academic year, and basically most colleges, people get this idea of like, oh, I'm almost done. I think I can just relax and not put in effort. And it's, of course, now it's even worse because the way my grading is going to work, if I get worse grades now than I did when I was in school, they don't count. So all I'm doing is studying for the AP Bio test, and that's it.
All right. Well, like you just said, take your own advice, man. Don't blow it.
Hey, do as I say, not as I do.
There you go. Chris, what about you? Advice for people entering college?
Don't push yourself too much. I tried taking 5 classes at once when I started, and that's what it takes to get done in like 2 years. And I realized it was too much. There was no way I was going to be able to get it done. But don't worry about it, because your GPA will drop if you're taking too many at once. It's better to just take your time. You'll learn more. And, and I know a lot of people like to be at the same level as their friends, but I mean, you could still hang out with them, you know, and you really don't want to ruin your grades.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful advice. And also, I would think to get as much as you can out of the class, you wouldn't
Mhm.
want to overload yourself, or you're not, you know, you're going to be like putting half effort in all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah, great advice. 5 classes, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
brutal.
That's what it's like at Old Dominion University too.
Um, you're making me, just before we wrap up with Jordan, Chris, and Sam, you're making me realize too that people probably in the future, maybe 6 to 12 months from now, would definitely enjoy an update on what you guys are doing. So maybe we can set, you know, not necessarily a graduation thing, but set something up to check back in with you guys, or, you know, even online, see what's going on. Are you guys comfortable being kind of go-to people if people have questions after this? Can we
Yeah.
field you guys questions about school and stuff related? Awesome. Okay, Jordan, any advice for everybody?
Um, I guess maybe this is like less school related, but maybe in terms of life related, I guess just try to stay in the moment, not get too caught up in the future. I mean, right now we're talking about the future, but we don't necessarily know. I mean, it's definitely good to talk about it and kind of have an idea of where you're going, but I guess maybe just having the idea that stuff changes. Just keep that in mind. You know, you can't just plan for everything. It doesn't always
Gotta
work
have
out.
some contingencies.
Yeah. And I think that, I mean, having Duchenne also makes you think like, well, if this doesn't work out, then maybe this other way will work out. So it's kind of like we all have this extra level of kind of contingency like thinking, and we all can kind of cope with changing circumstances. And whereas some people might think that this is the only option, and they might break down when something changes, but I think it's good to just kind of stay in the moment and kind of like say, well, this is what's happening now, and I can't worry about anything else. Um,
I think that's outstanding advice. And I think, to summarize, if I heard you correctly, you know, again, we have a sixth sense, and we do that stuff all the time. There's planning and replanning that goes into our day all day long. So when life throws some curveballs, we know how to change the swing of our bat to still get the job done. And you guys definitely have personified getting the job done. You've done outstanding work, and you know, hey, you're all graduating. This is a huge milestone, and like you said, live in the moment, and take a moment to breathe in the time and look around, because you only graduate one time, and although it's different, it's still very, very special, and you should be proud of what you have accomplished. So we're gonna wrap up this part of the show. I want to thank Jordan, Chris, and Sam for coming on, and obviously Parent Project for hosting these Friday panels, and there'll be more coming up. We also want to tell you before we leave that Parent Project wants to celebrate the end of the school year this year a little bit specially. So Parent Project and the PAC, which is the Adult Advisory Committee of guys with Shannon Becker, we're going to host a virtual graduation for all graduates, high school, college, grad school, middle school, moving up ceremonies, even if you're a little kid. So there's going to be information coming to you about that. In the next couple of days, you're going to receive some, if you're on the email list for Parent Project. If you're not, you should get on it. But if you are, you're going to receive some stuff to print out. And if you have a graduate, you can, you're going to be able to dress up, school jersey, cap and gown, or Parent Project swag. And you're going to be able to share it with Parent Project and talk a little bit about your plans for the fall. So this is going to be going on within the next week or so. You're going to get this email, but by next Friday, you're going to submit some stuff to Parent Project. And with the photo submission, we're going to put together a big virtual slideshow, and you can see yourself on the World Wide Web. I think if there's nothing else to do, we're going to obviously keep the vision of ending Duchenne, which I have up behind me, and sharing the class of 2020 and doing it a little bit differently this year, but maybe this can be something that becomes another tradition so that we can all connect, whether it be virtually or in person, and know that nobody is going at everything alone. Nobody is going at this by yourself, and you have plenty of help along the way to navigate these waters, especially when you're graduating. So thank you again to the panel, and thank you to Parent Project for hosting these Friday get-togethers on Facebook. Everyone enjoy the day and the weekend, and we'll see you guys all soon down the line. Okay, take care, everybody.
Adios.
Bye.